welcome to my YouTube channel. Crazy to say. Thank you all for tuning into my first YouTube video. Bear with me, I'll do my best. It's likely that most of you watching this have come from my Instagram page, which is Clean Lean Bakes. You guys give me so much support on there, and I would say my journey or what I document on Instagram has changed quite a lot over recent years. So those of you who followed me for a while know that. I've gone from pretty much just posting largely recipes with some fitness in there to talking a lot about my weight gain journey, hypothalamic amenorrhea, as well as still throwing in recipes in there as I love baking. And I decided that I wanted to start a YouTube channel to, I guess, just go into those things in a bit more detail, particularly hypothalamic amenorrhea and weight gain, as it's something that I just think so many girls are going through. And when I started my kind of hypothalamic amenorrhea journey, there wasn't loads out there, and there still isn't a lot, but it's definitely being talked about a lot more, which is great. And so yeah, I just kind of wanted to be one of those who was talking about it and who is sharing, and I can do so in a lot more detail here than I can on Instagram. With this is going to be to maybe do like a mini series. There's so much I just want to cover. So things like nutrition, exercise, sleep, supplements, the research I did, some of the tests, blood tests and things I got. So yeah, so that is kind of like going to be the main focus, I think, initially. And then I'll probably throw in a few what I eat in a day, recipes and all those kind of things along the way. But I just wanted to give you as much value as possible. So yeah, thanks for tuning in. But obviously let me know if there is anything you would like to see. If you let me know below, that'd be great. So kind of today, I just wanted to give you a bit of an overview of how I got here, why I'm talking about HA. Briefly, I have always been into exercise, particularly for the past 5 years. So I started getting a personal trainer, and that's when I really got into bodybuilding. So yeah, that was about 5 years ago. And at that point, I was at a very normal weight, good relationship with food, no issues in that sense. But I slowly became absorbed into that idea of wanting to be the strongest, the leanest, the healthiest, the fittest person. All of those things I thought were great, and I thought that's what you should aspire to be. You know, a lot of people you see on Instagram, they're constantly promoting about doing this workout, that workout, eating this, eating that, and I think sometimes you get too much kind of bombarded at you about what you should be doing, and actually it's forgetting that actually, is that right for you? Is this too much? Is it too little? And I very much spiraled into probably over-exercising and not quite fueling my body enough. I was at quite a low body fat percentage, so I think I got to about 12% body fat. So that was sort of a year and a half ago. So classed as athletic level, really. I had quite a low BMI. I was never underweight, so you know, I was still classed as a healthy weight, but I think largely that was to do with the amount of muscle I had. And I was very much eating enough calories, just about, so I was still eating quite a healthy amount. I'm probably going to throw in a few numbers, so I hope that's okay with you guys. I think actually I often find it quite useful to hear numbers. So I was eating around 2,000 calories. At the time I was about 52 to 53 kg in weight. I kind of stayed at the same weight, but I was constantly building muscle and losing fat. Anyway, I'd been on the contraceptive pill since I was about 16, so I'd always had the fake period every month, but I never had an actual period for a long time. So from 16, you know, going on about 15, 16 years, I hadn't had a normal period. And I first heard about HA through a podcast, I think it was. And some of the things they were talking about in terms of signs of HA and women who are more likely to have HA, you know, I fitted the bill basically. And that's when I first started thinking, if I come off the pill, am I going to get my period back? And I knew the chances are I probably wouldn't, from the kind of level of leanness that I was at. So fast forward a few months later, I decided to come off the pill. So that was in October 2019. I came off the pill. And I knew I wasn't going to get my period back straight away, and I didn't. So I kind of just carried on as normal for about 8 months. So I was still exercising the way I was, my nutrition was still the same. And then I decided to go to the doctors to get some blood work done. and just to basically rule out anything else going on. I might do another video on this if you want to kind of just know a little bit more about the blood tests that I had done. Found out from those tests that there was no other issues going on, and my doctor basically just said to me, you need to gain weight. So actually, at least he was a doctor that knew that. He didn't sort of say go back on the pill. I've heard some people say that the doctors have just said go back on the pill to get your period back. He was actually a really good doctor and just said, actually, no, you need to gain weight. And if you gain weight, you'll get your period back. And I spent about 3 weeks after that doing my own research. So watched every YouTube video on hypothalamic amenorrhea. I listened to lots of podcasts, started searching the hashtag hypothalamic amenorrhea on Instagram, just reading lots of blog posts, anything I could to find out as much information as possible as to what the best things were that I could be doing in order to get my period back. So did I go all in? Not as such. So if you haven't heard, the term all in, I guess, was popularised by Stephanie Buttermore on YouTube. So she did an all in process. It was a term that was, I think it's basically coined by a doctor called Dr. Rinaldi. So she's probably one of the leading female doctors in this area and has done a lot of research on hypothalamic amenorrhea. And as part of this, one of the protocols that she suggests that women should do is go all in. And that involves eating at least 2,500 calories and pretty much zero exercise. So I didn't do that. I did eat at least 2,500 calories, but I still maintained exercise. Like I've said, this is something I will talk a lot more about. So I do want to talk more about the exercise that I did do throughout my HA recovery, as well as the kind of foods I was eating, macros, calories, how I structured it, all those kind of things I'm going to go into so much more detail on. But yeah, basically I continued to exercise, ate at least 2,500 calories, as well as optimizing lots of other things. And 3 months later, I got my period back. So from starting my HA journey, let's say I was about 52 kg, and 3 months later I'd put on 10 pounds at least, which was my actual target that I'd set for myself. And at the end of that, I weighed around about 57, 58 kg. Yeah, I actually had signs for about 2 weeks before my period came back. Again, another video that probably really good for me to do is going through some of the signs that I got for the first sort of, like 2 weeks before my period came back. There's lots of them. And at the time I didn't really want to think, oh, is this it? Because I think you just almost don't want to jinx yourself. But yeah, it came back sort of a couple of weeks after I started getting some signs. And then I've had 4 periods since. So obviously we're now in February. And actually this month I have missed a period. Again, it's something that I'll probably talk more about if you want to know kind of a little bit also about not just how I managed to get my period back, but also how you can maintain it and some of the mistakes that I've made within this past month that I'm going to make changes of, and hopefully next month it comes back again. And this is quite normal. A lot of people do find that they'll get maybe 3 or 4 periods and then they'll maybe miss one, and it can be due to various factors. But I'm going to make some changes and see what happens, so then I can then obviously share with you guys the best ways to keep your period as well as just getting it back. And you know what? Now I've probably gained overall about 13 pounds at least, but I'm actually the happiest I've ever been in my body. I feel the healthiest, the fittest, the strongest I've ever been. And I've had so many struggles along the way in terms of dealing with the weight gain and dealing with buying new clothes and other people's opinions and all those things which I want to talk about in here. But ultimately, it's so worth it to get your period back and for how I feel now. So, like I said, comment below anything you want me to talk about, anything you want me to share. And yeah, I just want to take you along with me and share all the things that have helped me, and particularly for those who are looking to get their period back or just gain weight in general. So if you do want to see more and you've enjoyed just listening to a few little snippets of my journey so far, then I'd love it if you liked, you commented below, and obviously subscribe. These YouTube things I'm going to have to remember. Yeah, I really do appreciate it. I can reach as many people as I can so that things like HA and weight gain are seen as so much more of a positive journey than a negative journey. So yeah, I'll catch you all soon. Thank you.